Alright, my name is James Fay. I'm going to be fit testing my colleague Ben here in a 3M 6503 half mask respirator. Ben works in animal research and he performs animal surgeries and is exposed to isoflurane in his research, which does not have a limit through the permissible exposure limit through the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It also does not have any kind of authoritative or occupational exposure limit through the ACGIH. So all we have is a NIOSH recommended exposure level of 2 ppm for his exposure level that he's allowed to be exposed to. He doesn't have any other control measures available to him, such as a chemical fume hood or any kind of local exhaust ventilation, so he has to rely solely on a respirator here in order to use isoflurane in his research. So we're going to use a TSI Portacount Pro fit test machine to perform the fit test here. Now I'm just going to set up his half mask respirator with the proper adapter so we can attach it to the TSI Portacount. I'm also securing this half mask respirator with P100 filters. That'll filter out the saline aerosols that we're generating using a particle generator for the test. Ben has been medically cleared by a physician or other licensed healthcare practitioner to wear this respirator. Ben, I'm just going to go ahead and explain some of the what's this for. This is your typical half mask respirator. It can be used with certain types of chemicals or particulates depending on the cartridge you select. You're going to be using an organic vapor cartridge to protect you from isoflurane in your research. Let's see here. It's not intended for use in an oxygen-deficient environment or any sort of atmosphere that's considered immediately dangerous to life and health. And it can only protect you to levels up to 10 times the exposure limit, which in your case, the maximum use level would be 20 parts per million. So I've done the exposure monitoring in his lab, and I know it's not over 20 parts per million, worst case scenario, so this type of respirator is perfectly fine. I'll go ahead and have you don this respirator. Does that feel pretty comfortable? Feels pretty comfortable. I see that you performed your negative pressure seal check and positive pressure seal check of this half mask respirator correctly. So if he's verified that it's comfortable, it fits well, he's performed the user seal checks, we'll go ahead and proceed with the fit test using the Portacount. I'm just going to go ahead and attach this Tygon tubing onto the adapter here. And we'll go ahead and start the fit test. The fit test consists of 8 different exercises. Each one is a minute long with the exception of the 6th exercise, the grimace, that's only 15 seconds. The first exercise is normal breathing. Second exercise is deep breathing. Be aware or be cautious not to hyperventilate, just take slow deep breaths. Third exercise, you're going to oscillate your head from side to side, shoulder to shoulder, back and forth for 1 minute. Fourth exercise, you're going to move your head up and down, so just look up at the ceiling and then down at the floor, back and forth for 1 minute. Fifth exercise is talking. We'll have you read from the rainbow passage here. If you finish early, just read it again as long as you talk for the whole minute. The sixth exercise is the grimace, as I described before. That's sort of making like a frowning face, intentionally meant to break the seal of the respirator. On the next exercise, we evaluate how it reseals to your face. The seventh exercise is bending over. So just like you're going down, simulate picking something up and repeat that motion throughout the entire minute. And then the eighth and final exercise is just normal breathing. So if that all sounds good, we can go ahead and get started. All right. All right, we'll just start out with normal breathing here. As you can see, the exercise that you're currently on is displayed on the screen here, and then it will beep when it goes to the next exercise, and I always do my best to cue the individual when the exercise is about to change. So with this type of respirator, we're looking for a fit factor greater than 100 because the assigned protection factor of a half mask respirator is 10. Like I said before, the maximum use concentration for this respirator is 20 parts per million isoflurane because the occupational exposure limit is 2 parts per million. That's a NIOSH recommended exposure level. And like I said, the assigned protection factor is 10. You multiply those two numbers together to get the maximum use concentration. All right, now we're going to move on to deep breathing. So just take slow, deep breaths. Looks like the first exercise passed well over 100. So hopefully that trend continues and we get a passing overall fit factor of greater than 100. Alright, so now you're going to oscillate your head from side to side. As you can see, Ben is also clean shaven. That's one of the requirements of performing the fit test. I could not perform the fit test if he had any sort of hair stubble on his face, or if he wasn't medically cleared by a physician or other licensed healthcare practitioner. I assisted in developing Ben's respiratory protection program, of which he is the respiratory program administrator. This has details of what kind of respirator needs to be used, what kind of cartridges need to be used depending on the hazard. It also covers storage, use, maintenance, and respirator changeout schedules. Alright, so now you're going to go ahead and move your head up and down, so he just looks up at the ceiling and then back down at the floor and repeats that motion. Alright, now Ben's going to read the rainbow passage here. The rainbow passage is provided in 29 CFR 1910.134.
The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors. These take the shape of a long, round earth which is passed high above, and its two ends apparently beyond the horizon. There is, according to legend, a boiling pot of gold at one end. People look, but no one ever finds it. When a man looks for something beyond reach, his friends say he is looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Rainbow passage. When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, it acts like a prism and form a rainbow. The rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colors.
Alright, now Ben's going to move on to making a grimace face. This is intentionally meant to break the seal of the respirator, and then on the next exercise we evaluate how it re-seals to his face. And now we're moving on to bending over. So this exercise simulates picking something up, and Ben will just repeat this motion for the entire minute. Alright, now the final exercise is just normal breathing. Now after the fit test is done, that's when I take the time to go over more information about storage, use, limitations, and then cover any kind of questions that the respirator wearer may have. Final 9 seconds here while the overall fit factor is calculated. Alright, Ben passed with an overall fit factor of about 17,000. He only needed a passing fit factor of 100. Thanks for tuning in and watching us perform a quantitative fit test using the TSI Portacount Pro.